What's up guys, Alan with Edge Autosport here. I've got my car on the dyno, the Audi S3, and I've got a couple boxes full of parts that we're gonna install today. Just to let you know, being a tuner, having to do development work kind of sucks because I want to modify my car as soon as I get it. I want to put a big turbo on it, I want to make 500 horsepower, have fun. Instead, I spend like 6 months just tinkering with the stock calibration and making it go fast on completely stock parts, and kind of sucks. But today I finally get to put some parts on, and I want to see if they actually make a difference, because depending on where you look, the intake adds power, the intake doesn't add power, different intakes may have different results, whatever, I don't know. I'm just doing development work, I guess. So I've got here with me an 034 Motorsports intake, carbon fiber, you know, because carbon fiber makes you go extra fast. Got the 034 Motorsports Inlet elbow, gonna put that on. And then got a couple boxes that I have not opened yet. So we'll go ahead and stab myself in the gut. So this should be the turbo muffler delete, I believe. Got an O-ring, got a ton of saran wrap. Take that home to my wife so she can wrap up some avocados. Yep, 034 Motorsports muffler delete. That's a pretty nice little piece. So for those of you that don't know, which I'm sure most people watching this video do know, this basically, there's a turbo muffler on the turbo, it acts like a resonator that helps cancel some of the noise, opens up so you have passages for the sound, air, whatever to go up in, and they come back down and they cancel out frequencies. But what that can cause is some turbulence. So what we have here is just a straight through shot, and that will help improve flow. So supposedly this is one of the better mods to do, I think, for the intake. At least that's what I've read. Altogether, I really don't know how much of a difference this is gonna make, which is why I've got my car on the dyno. I'm gonna install the parts after doing a baseline and just see if the curve changes any. So that'll be an easy way to know. Next box. So this is actually a piece I'm pretty excited about. I doubt it provides much of a benefit, but it sure does look good. So this is just the 034 Motorsports inlet duct that replaces the plastic one there on the front. And really it's just, it's a looker. It really looks good. But it does provide some benefit as these are all open for airflow, added airflow to get into the airbox area. Whereas I believe on the factory one, it's like closed on one side and open on the other, so the air has to go in one side, travel all the way down, and then go in. So you actually get a little bit more airflow to the intake with this piece than, say, the stock one. So there is some benefit to it. Don't know how much, but again, we're gonna throw all these parts on the car and see if we gain anything, and then we'll know. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it just looks good, maybe it just sounds good. Either way, I'm excited to have this under the hood of the car. So you guys know, I've been playing around a lot with the tune, trying different things. So it's actually a little bit lower power and torque right now than where it's going to end up for my stage 1 tune. But at the moment, I don't really care about max numbers. All I care about is an apples to apples comparison. So, and that's going to be like, does it gain anything with the addition of an intake and all the intake stuff that goes with that. So I'm not going to tweak this map any to get my power back to where it was before. I am just going to put the intake on and see if it gains power from where it's at right now. And then after that, I'll play with stuff to try to get it back. But for now, 334 horsepower, 368 pounds of torque. That's going to be the baseline for pre-intake. I'm going to go install all those parts and do another pull, see what it makes, and go from there. All right, getting ready to install all this stuff. We're currently listening to a live broadcast of a court hearing for our local racetrack. So you guys get to enjoy the B-roll while I install all this. Here we have the stock turbo inlet pipe. You can see how it necks down quite a lot to go into the turbo. This one just has a little bit more volume, a little bit more flow, and it's even got a little bit of a velocity stack type built in there, which is kind of nice. It does look a little bit like there's a little bit of a lip on it, which could create some turbulence, I think, but I mean, it's better than that. A little bit more volume might help a little bit, but I mean, we're just trying to improve every little bit that we can. So again, sometimes you don't get a ton of power from a mod, but it doesn't mean it's not worth it to put on necessarily. Sometimes it's just to have everything upgraded. Though this specifically, from what I've read, is one of the more beneficial pieces to the intake. If you're not going to do a full intake upgrade, at least this by itself, or this plus the muffler delete, is probably going to be a more beneficial part than even the whole intake. But that's just what the internets say, and I'm not fully testing that today. I'm just going to do the full intake and see if we gain anything. So I'm not really trying to go crazy here. I'm just going to do a little bit more simple of a test. Partially because I'm impatient. I've been waiting to modify this car for a long time, and I'm finally doing it. Woo! Here we have the stock muffler delete, and then the 034 muffler delete. Yeah, so this thing, you can see those little holes right there. That just allows sound waves really to go up, and which moves with the air too, but allows the sound waves to go in there, and it creates a resonator effect to help keep the turbo noises down, which most people like the turbo noises with these cars. So, but really with that extra movement of the air going in and out, potential for turbulence, so having the straight through design should give you a little bit better flow. Intake's gonna work more efficiently, or well, charge pipes can work more efficiently. Ultimately, we should see a little bit of a power bump from that, or at least maybe a more smooth power band. All right, we got the turbo muffler delete on. It is a nightmare, but not the biggest nightmare that I've ever done on one of these cars. But it is installed and hopefully not going to leak. Got the coupler on straight and everything looks okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the turbo inlet pipe on, and then we can install the intake and the air inlet, whatever you call that thing. So yeah, that was the hard part, the muffler delete. I did do it with the battery still in place. I think it's probably significantly easier if you remove the battery in the battery tray, but I did it the hard way. Got 3rd degree burns now because I did a full throttle pull and then immediately started taking it apart. If you want to go the extra mile, take that challenge. I'm gonna go wash my hands now because I'm gonna be touching carbon fiber and I don't want my greasy fingerprints all over it. So we got all these little washers with like a rubber pad on the bottom, which is really nice. It's going to protect the carbon fiber from cracking with the bolt. A little self-tapping screw thing that are used here. And then also we got this little piece that goes on the side of the intake. On the Golf R and I believe the GTI, you have this. You're going to use this, but this is the S3. It doesn't have that. It's like the secondary air injection system or something like that, I think. Yeah, the S3 doesn't use that, so they send a block-off plate for it. Gotta be real careful with this one. These guys just hold this hose in place here, and they just pop right in. Just squeeze them in there, stick that in, and clip it over. It's nice and clean, OEM plus installation, and that should do it. Everything is in. We got filter on, we got all these tight, clamps are tight, turbulent pipes installed, muffler delete is installed. So that is the entire intake track has been upgraded to 034 Motorsports. I am going to now go get a rag and some cleaner and get all my grubby fingerprints off of this pretty carbon fiber. All done. Let's do another pull and see if we gained anything or if we lost anything, if it sounds any different. I'm skeptical. That's a big gain, but I did notice it looked like it hit a higher boost pressure, which maybe the turbo's not working as hard because of the intake, so they need to be adjusted a little bit. But it did hit quite a higher boost, probably like a full, almost 2 psi maybe, higher than what it did on the previous run. So I got to look at the data log and see how it was. But that's a substantial gain. I'd like to say that's all from the intake, and it might be, but I have to be a little bit skeptical. Okay, so we just finished up the install of the 034 everything, and that's all the intake related parts are now on this car from 034 Motorsports. All these parts can be found on our website. We ended up with decent gains, as you guys saw. It was 11 foot-pounds of torque and like 15 horsepower. Some of that can be attributed to the intake. Some of that can be attributed to just the way the car targets torque and everything. But the interesting thing that I saw in the before and after data logs is that the turbine actual final value, which is like the wastegate duty cycle for this car, was 10% less than before I installed the intake, and the car made more boost while temperatures in the shop were actually hotter at the time that I did it. So that tells me that I have to believe that the intake is allowing the turbo to operate more efficiently, allowing the car to make torque more efficiently, and therefore it's bringing down the necessary wastegate values. It doesn't need as much to make the same kind of boost, same kind of torque, which is awesome. That means the intake's doing what we want it to do, and that's helping the car make more power or make power more efficiently. Now, as I told you, I've been tweaking the map a lot on the street, playing with stuff, and overall power was down a bit from when I tuned it completely stock on the dyno. And again, it does have E30 in the tank. So if you'll come over here, this is the final numbers. You can just show them the graph there. This is the final numbers here. I don't know if it'll focus on that. We did 363.9 horsepower, 398 foot-pounds of torque, and I'm absolutely stoked with that. That was after tweaking it again. As I said, we're making boost more efficiently, so I upped the requests a bit and the torque requests to get more torque out of it, and now we're getting more horsepower as well, and the car's loving it. So it's quite hot in here, and I'm pretty happy with where it's at. So that's all for the Stage 1 Plus for this car. Next part I need to install is the downpipe, and so stay tuned to our channel. That install will be coming up here pretty soon. We're going to be putting the Cobb catted downpipe on it. And anyways, I hope you liked the video. Be sure you subscribe to our channel if you want to see more from the Audi S3, and we'll catch you next time.